Okay, the anticipation is just huge, isn't it? Death Stranding 2. On the beach, it's almost upon us. And that premiere event, the one on June 8th. Wow, so many new details, especially about how the game actually plays. Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take all that source material, event transcripts, analysis docs, everything, and boil it down for you. Today, we're digging into everything revealed about Death Stranding 2's gameplay from that June 8th event and the info drops that followed.
Yeah, our mission here is basically to sift through all this new info and pull out what really matters for how DS2 will, feel to play. We're focusing on the brand new stuff, the mechanic you haven't seen before in the first game. But hey, just real quick before we jump in, if you like what we do here, exploring these topics, maybe take a second to like and subscribe. It really does help us out a lot. Okay, let's get into it.
So right off the bat, the core theme feels like a really interesting flip from the first game. DS1 was all about connection, building bridges.
Right, bringing America back together. Exactly. But DS2, it seems to be asking, should we have connected? Kojima himself has sort of linked this to post-pandemic feelings, this idea that maybe too much digital connection can erode the real-world stuff.
That's a pretty deep theme to tackle. How does that actually show up in the gameplay itself? Is it just story?
No, it seems deeply woven in. And maybe the clearest example is Lou. Remember the bridge baby, the BB in the pod?
Yeah, the BT detector, basically. Essential tool.
Well, not just a tool. Now, Lou is Sam's adopted child. She's 18 months old in the game.
Whoa, okay, so not in the pod.
Not in the pod. She's physically with Sam, and this totally reframes her role. She's an emotional center, sure, but the sources call her a living burden. Her needs are now part of your gameplay loop.
Living burden. Sounds intense, so like actual parenting mechanics.
Pretty much, yeah. You'll see Sam physically lift and bounce Lou to soothe her. There were hints of, dealing with nappies, tidying toys in the private room. It adds this layer of domesticity, of direct care.
That's wild. How does carrying an actual toddler affect the traversal? That was so key in DS1.
It makes it way trickier. The sources talk about needing delicate stewardship, like rough terrain. You gotta be careful. And Lou reacts. Big time. An earthquake happens, she might start crying, and you have to stop. Soothe her.
So it interrupts your delivery.
It can, yeah. It forces you to balance your mission objective with, being a dad on the go. There's even speculation that her mood might affect things like BT detection, maybe even Sam's stamina. It's not just physics anymore, it's empathy.
Wow. Okay, so every step feels heavier, more personal. You're not just hauling cargo, you're protecting Lou.
Mm-hmm.
That connection, or maybe the burden of connection, feels really tangible there. And the world itself, it's bigger, right? Beyond the UCA?
Oh, yeah, significantly. They've specifically mentioned locations inspired by Mexico and Australia. Totally new environments, new challenges.
So how do you even get around a world that big? More walking?
Well, yes and no. There's a major new system, the Monorail. Think long-distance, efficient travel.
Okay. Like a train system.
Yeah. Sort of, yeah, but you have to build it, or at least restore the tracks. It uses resources, often from new mining facilities you'll find. And it's not just for Sam. It can move cargo, vehicles, potentially even link up player structures.
That sounds super useful. Maybe. Too useful. Does that tie back to the theme, that too-connected idea?
Exactly. That's the fascinating part. The sources strongly suggest that this increased efficiency, this powerful network, might have downsides. Building out the monorail, especially in new territories like Australia, could have unforeseen consequences.
Like what?
They mention these mysterious ghost mechs appearing later in the game, potentially because the network was built there. It's like making things too easy, too connected might actually create new dangers.
So progress isn't always purely good. There's a potential cost to making the world smaller, more accessible. Interesting.
And the environments aren't just bigger, they're more dynamic. Full day-night cycle this time.
Okay, how does that impact things?
Visibility, obviously. Enemy patrols might change. Even package temperature could be a factor. And you can skip time by sleeping in a private room so you can plan around it.
So wait till night for a stealthy approach, maybe.
Could be, yeah. Or wait for daylight if you need to see tricky terrain. Plus, get this. Dynamic natural disasters.
Like actual disasters?
Yeah, gatequakes that literally reshape the map. Sandstorms, avalanches, floods, wildfires, they happen in real time. You get warnings, but they can totally wreck your planned route.
Man, that sounds stressful. but also really cool. Makes the world feel genuinely unpredictable.
For sure. And the social strand system, the asynchronous multiplayer stuff is back and expanded. More complex player structures, bigger bridges, better zip lines, shelters that can even ward off BTs with like blood clouds.
Blood clouds, okay.
Yeah. And you can operate other players' watchtowers remotely now, too. Plus, there's the new ship, the DHV Magellan. It's like a mobile hub, kind of like Mother Base.
Oh, cool. So you can fast travel, store stuff?
Exactly. Fast travel between major points, store vehicles, resources. It reinforces that feeling of being part of a larger effort, even solo. Now let's talk combat, because this seems like a major change from DS1. The sources are clear. There's a much bigger emphasis on combat, deliberately designed for more player choice.
Yeah, I heard about this. The big thing is the void outs, right? In DS1, killing humans was super risky because of them.
Exactly. Those huge game-ending explosions, if a BT got to the body, well, the sources say for human enemies in DS2, no void outs. Gone.
Seriously? Wow. Okay, that completely changes the calculation. Lethal force is actually a viable tactic now.
It really is. Kojima even compared the accessibility of combat here to something like Metal Gear Solid 2. It's a fundamental shift.
So what tools do we get for this? Is it just guns now?
Oh, much more than that. The arsenal's way bigger, supporting different styles. You've got the blood boomerang uses Sam's blood, good for stealthy BT takedowns. You get it in Australia.
Yeah.
There's Dollman. This sounds wild, Ascension companion you can throw. Acts like a drone, gives you radar vision, helps find routes.
A throwable friend? Weird, but cool.
Right. Then stealth holograms, throwable instant cover, like a fake rock. Decoy grenades that project funny holograms like kangaroos to distract enemies.
Kangaroos.
Oh.
Okay, that's Kojima.
Definitely. You can also use those electrified poles that MUL had for melee, stunning, disabling vehicles. There's even a BT holographic grenade just to scare humans.
Nice. Psychological warfare.
And crucially, dedicated blood weapons. Firearms, grenades powered by Sam's blood, specifically for fighting BTs directly. This really signals that taking BTs head-on is intended now.
That's a lot of options. And I saw something about putting your backpack down in combat, but keeping weapons attached. That sounds huge.
Yeah, that's a great quality of life change. Lets you be more agile in a fight without ditching everything. It makes engaging much smoother.
And the BTs themselves, are they different?
They seem more geared towards direct confrontation, too. More visible sometimes, new types, bigger ones, and these watchers that detect by sight, adding a visual stealth element. The blood weapons make it clear. Fighting them is a core loop now, not just avoidance.
But stealth is still an option, right? If I don't want to go loud.
Absolutely. The sources emphasize multiple valid approaches, new camo options, maybe even a chameleon suit function. The stealth holograms help. Enemy AI is supposed to react to how you play stealth, combat, or even just taking a really difficult path to avoid them altogether.
Okay, good. Choice is always good.
Yeah.
What about Sam himself?
Yeah.
How does he grow? Is it like the first game?
It feels more involved, more player-directed. There's a new skill tree called the APAS Enhancement System. You find these memories in the world and spend them on skills in combat, stealth, porter stuff, and something called servicemanship, maybe building or network-related.
Ah, so you specialize. You can't get everything.
Seems like it, yeah. Limited memories mean you have to choose where to focus Sam's abilities. Plus, there are 12 new proficiency levels. This is cool. It's learning by doing.
Oh. How does that work?
Basically, the more you do something, the better you get at it automatically. Climb lots of mountains, your traversal skill improves. Use melee a lot. You get better at melee. It makes your Sam feel unique based on how you actually play.
I like that. It rewards your playstyle naturally. What about gear customization?
Way more expanded. New exoskeletons, like a battle skeleton for combat. Vehicles are available earlier, the Tri-Cruiser, a pickup truck. And you can customize vehicles heavily.
Like weapons on trucks?
Yeah, gun turrets, extra batteries, armor, retrieval cables, stickers. Lots of options. Sam's suit gets more customization too, colors, patterns. Oh, and you can use the strand rope to tie down cargo on your backpack now.
Finally. No more avalanche of lost boxes.
Oh, hopefully fewer, anyway. But yeah, these aren't just cosmetic. Choosing a battle skeleton or extra truck armor, those are strategic choices for the mission ahead. And we have to talk about the music. Woodkid did a lot for this one. The sources highlight how procedural it is.
Yeah, I saw that demo. The music changes based on what Sam's doing, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. It shifts dynamically. Running, stopping, climbing, going off path. The track subtly changes its arrangement and intensity to match your actions. It sounds incredibly immersive.
Makes the journey feel more alive, more cinematic.
For sure. And his soundtrack album actually drops June 13th. before the game. Elle Fanning sings on a track. Kojima's even featured on one. We also know there's a full photo mode with posing and stuff.
Nice. Any tech details?
PS5 Pro enhancement is confirmed, and early estimates put the game length around 75 hours or so.
That's meaty.
And one more thing, accessibility. If you struggle with boss fights, apparently you can skip them from the game over screen and continue the story.
Oh, that's a great option to have. We actually saw some of this stuff live at the premiere demos, didn't we?
We did. The first demo was basically the tutorial in Mexico, showed Sam with Lou at 11 months, basic controls, the music shifting, and that earthquake moment where he had to stop and soothe her, plus the map changing after a bigger quake.
Really showed off those core new mechanics right away.
Then there was that battle sequence against Neil. Looked intense, fire everywhere. New enemies' remains, these warrior guys, showed off the blood boomerang, the tar cannon being used to put out fires and as a weapon.
And they showed sneaking versus fighting directly.
Yeah, different approaches, use the grenade, pistol, shotgun. And they mentioned Neil's kind of like Cliff from DS1, a recurring boss type encounter you'll face multiple times. So yeah, putting it all together, DS2 looks like a really substantial evolution. It keeps that unique traversal core, but adds way more combat and stealth depth, throws in these dynamic world events, and really focuses on Sam's emotional journey with Lou. And it all seems designed to explore that tricky theme about connection and its consequences.
It sounds incredible, and it's landing exclusively on PlayStation 5, June 26th,
Yeah.
2025. Not long now. So what's the big takeaway here for you, waiting to play? This deep dive suggests a game that's not just bigger and prettier, but one that's actively challenging its own ideas. It's making you think about connection differently through the gameplay itself.
Definitely. And maybe here's something to chew on until release. We all live in this super connected world, right? Sometimes it feels great, sometimes maybe not so great. How is playing Sam's journey this time, caring for a child, building networks that might actually backfire, dealing with the chaos? How's that going to make you feel about connection, isolation, and the responsibilities we take on? Just something to think about.
A perfect thought to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Death Stranding 2's gameplay. Hopefully this gives you a much clearer picture of what's coming.